Deep in the heart of an Indian reservation, there was a forest that was whispered about in hushed tones by the local tribespeople. It was said that the forest was cursed and that anyone who entered it would never return. Despite these warnings, a group of friends, Jack, Emily, Sarah, David, and Brian, decided to go camping in the area for the weekend, eager for a chance to escape the city and experience the great outdoor. As they set up camp and built a fire, they noticed that the surrounding forest was eerily quiet. No birds sang, no crickets chirped, and not even the rustling of leaves could be heard. Despite this, they brushed it off and settled in for the night. However, as the night went on, strange things started to happen. They heard whispers in the wind, and every so often they caught a glimpse of something moving in the shadows. Despite their unease, they decided to stick it out and enjoy the trip. The next morning, they woke up to find that Brian was missing. They searched the entire camp and surrounding area, but there was no sign of him. The rest of the group grew increasingly worried, and as the days passed, more and more of them vanished without a trace. Panic set in as the group realized that they were being hunted by something sinister. They huddled around the fire at night, telling stories and trying to keep each other's spirits up. But every time one of them went out to gather wood or use the bathroom, they never returned. Desperate for answers, Jack went to the local tribe for help. The tribespeople told him the story of the forest and the malevolent spirit that was said to haunt it. It was said that the spirit was once a powerful and revered warrior who had been betrayed by his own tribe and left to die in the forest. He was consumed by anger and hatred and had since been preying on unsuspecting travelers, taking them as his own personal revenge on the world. Jack was horrified by this tale and realized that his friends had likely fallen victim to the spirit. He left the reservation never to return, and the forest remains an eerie and foreboding place to this day, avoided by all but the bravest of adventurers. The story of the missing campers is still told around campfires to this day, serving as a warning to those who might dare to ignore the warnings of the local tribespeople and enter the cursed forest. Years later, Jack found himself unable to shake the memory of that trip and the eerie feeling that had stayed with him ever since. He felt like he needed to go back, to face his fears and try to understand what had happened to his friends. So, he gathered a group of friends and set out once again for the reservation. This time, they entered the forest armed with knowledge of the spirit and its past. As they made their way deeper into the forest, they could feel the presence of the malevolent spirit, but they refused to back down. When they finally came face to face with the spirit, they confronted him, reminding him that he was once a respected warrior and that it was time for him to let go of his hatred and anger. To their surprise, the spirit listened and finally found peace, lifting the curse from the forest and allowing the missing campers to finally rest in peace. Jack and his friends were able to leave the forest unscathed, but they never forgot the lessons they learned about facing their fears and the importance of letting go of anger and hatred.